let's do this. Warface. Was there to talk about it? It's a decent game. It's okay, I guess. Like, it's not something you would look at and say, oh yeah, it's Warface. If you never played it, you're never going to know what it is. It's not something like Risk Rain where you just eventually stumble upon it and you're like, oh shit, that's the coolest game. And I don't play it. This is something that you are coaxed into playing by your friends, and then boom, you all of a sudden become hooked. So the small dopamine hits it gives you. For Call of Duty, the time to kills are pretty similar. Short as hell and balances out of whack. But they're out of whack in different ways. In Call of Duty, it's all about making your zoom in and your time to kill faster. But that's not all you need in this game. In Warface, it's all about magazine size and, of course, zoom in time, but, like, that's only on particular things. If you're a little camper, it doesn't matter. With magazine size, you're never going to need that 1 second window. Because, again, with skill, which you're eventually going to have if you play the game, you're going to be cooking the heads. You're always going to be hitting headshots. So, fire range, like that, doesn't matter. Unless you're using an LMG. These are the one count that actually matters. They're decent with damage. Not as high as the new age assault rifles or other weapons, including sniper. I don't know. But I don't think that's a lack of balance. I feel like that's just designed to be that way. Warface's LMGs are just... they're just something else. It was hard to put a finger on why I was doing so good with them, when beforehand I was doing shit with ARs. But I was looking at the stats of the AR I was using and the LMG, and I noticed one thing. The magazine size. The magazine size on the Stoner is a lot higher than the AK-47, well, not the AK-47, the AK-47 Custom. It's a lot different. A lot bigger, as you would say. Hey, there's just something like that I know of myself. It lives in my pants. And basically, what is there to do about it? In a Warface situation, you're going to walk up and shoot someone, you think. Well, they have an LMG. What do? Carefully. It's still hyper accurate. What do? Nothing. Guy. That's it. When this rifleman still has everything else besides claymores that other classes have, of course, the most prevalent class is going to be rifleman when it boasts the biggest damage per second. But that's not always the best, as we've seen with the LMGs I was talking about. Situation. Having the highest damage per second doesn't mean that's the best you can do. E.g., the Gilbo SMG that Engineer has. The Gilbo SMG has one of the highest RPMs an SMG has, of 1,000. It was originally a competitive weapon you would get for playing the competitive game mode. And you'd get cards by ranking up and you'd get the weapon. But it's not actually that good. Compared to something like the AM-17, which boasts a lot lower 700 RPM, but boasts a lot less bullets per second, but its accuracy goes hell up and its time to run out of magazine goes hella down. It's just going to be easier to just show you examples of it. So, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you 2 weapons, and we're going to explain to you why, well, not we, but I'm going to explain to you why that's how it works. I will see you then in 2 seconds. Let me try to give you an example. This is the AK-47 Custom. It's one of the stronger ARs in the game, but it's not as prevalent as you see as other ones like the new AR that just came in the shop. I don't know what it is. It's probably OP as fuck though. Without attachments, because apparently it just doesn't have a, it's kind of okay. It does damage, it does good, it can take at targets, and it reloads pretty fast. But again, that's a 1 second window you aren't shooting. And almost anything can happen in that 1 second window. Compared to something to like an LMG, without attachments, it still has no inherent flaws. It has an open scope, it just keeps firing and firing, and you can pretty easily hit headshots because the game's way of tracking bullets. You can just keep firing and enemies won't stop you. It's kind of like its own type of subclass, kind of. One of them you just keep firing as rifleman, and the other one you have to take your shots and think about it. One of them is a little more simple, and one of them is more strategic, and that's why AR is more prevalent in ranks. But compare this to something like Sniper, who has its own playstyle, with its bolt-action sniper rifles being OP, and its semi-auto sniper rifles being as well prevalent in the game as the normal sniper. But the Cobalt Kinetic 27 is kind of not its own playstyle. It's still long-range shooting McGunface, but it's kind of the only thing, because the only other subclass there is. Compared to something like, I don't know, Engineer, there's slow engineer and fast engineer. They're not really that big of a difference. You're still doing the exact same tasks, except one of them shoots way faster, and one of them shoots slower. Back on to PvP, it's kind of comparable that just the absolute sheer ferocity of the weapon should not be allowed. As you can see in this clip, we started the game, and we're just gonna start by butt rushing into the field. We're gonna go onto the left side bridge and take control of that section. We take control of the mid, we're taking the mid fight, we keep firing. But right as we see the enemy, we just shoot it. It was 4 shots still. Compared to the 3 that an assault has, it's still not going to be that big of a difference. Of course, we're going to kill the camper, but we'll get him back there. But look at this. We're going to come up. This is still the beginning of the match, so it's not that big of a deal. They took a leap, but it's not going to help them in the end. We look to the right, look there, and there's just a person sitting there. Okay, weird. But right, this is where it hits the fan for them. We cleared out this beginning area, aka their spawn. We cleared out the spawn. Now what? Now what are they going to do to stop me from just looking down the sight line and keep shooting? There's no 1 second interval where they can come show up and kill me instantly. Unless they hit a headshot, of course. But again, I have teammates who do the exact same job for me, who can also run LMGs and kill everything. It's kind of dumb. But, of course, campers still do this. Can't always predict where everyone's going to be, but yeah, no. This is still an easy game compared to something like COD where movement is necessary. Even though this game is kind of like an easier over Call of Duty, it's still kind of different meta. Fast fire rate isn't really the way to go. It's more of a conservation. Look at this. In this clip, I'm just holding down the sight lines. Kind of doing what a sniper's supposed to do. Be perceived as a dangerous and not go in that sight line. But I don't need to be a sniper with an LMG when I'm shooting so many bullets where it doesn't matter where they go unless one of them just hits a head on accident. Well, I at least got the kill. They can't tell what I'm doing though since I'm still hidden. Look at that. Dead. Just because I sneaked up with my 1,000,000 bullet gun, I won the fight. Compared to something like with the AK-47 I showed earlier. I wouldn't have had enough bullets to get all 3 kills there, and they would have won the fight. Of course, I noticed the enemy coming up, flanking up behind, and boom, they're dead. Again, this game has one-shot headshot physics for most weaponry. So when stuff like this does so much high damage that it's basically just a flamethrower with infinite range, and It's just oppressive. There's nothing to say about it. You can just keep shooting. And shoot. And again, I'm in a hidden spot. They don't know I'm there. Just sit here. They're going to push up, and they're going to die to a teammate. But, of course, the point still stands. They don't know I'm here. They peek a corner, and they die. There's enemies coming around for a flank. Maybe. I don't know. I think if this is the right clip. No, it's not. We're going to retake the 2-second reload compared to the 1-second reload that assault rifles have. Like, oh no, 2-second interval. Whatever will my teammates do? Again, it's still not that big of a deal. Of course, you can say the same about assault rifles. Like, oh yeah, 1-second reload, half the reload speed. But like, no, these things need a longer reload speed in general. I don't need to stop ever to just stay in the back and not kill them. In compared to sniper, which fills as kind of the same role, you're in the back of the map and you're just picking off the key targets. As rifleman, you're just going in and shooting everything. Your goal is to kill everyone, but as sniper, you're killing key targets. In a game like Warface, key targets don't really exist that often, so you're just picking off whoever see. It's not really the best of cases, though, when, yeah, I'm not the best at the game. But this is still an easy round just because how the oppressive nature of my LMG. It's keeping them in check. It's keeping them in the back of the map where we can just effectively shoot them over and over and over again. This is not fair. No, we shouldn't be able to do this. Look at that. They got the first hit. They should have won the fight. But no, because of course LMGs are still as powerful as rifles, they still made this thing to be overpowered as fuck. You don't need skill to run an LMG compared to a rifle. They're supposed to be for fucking PvE. But why would you not run an LMG at this point when, just look at that. The fuck? He peeked his second for a second and boom. He died. There's nothing he could do. That sniper pulled a key pick. Good for him. He did his job as a sniper. Wow. Good for him. As you can see, I'm going 23-4. And all we're doing is just sitting on their spawn, doing nothing. I probably should end the clip now, since you already know what's going to happen. We won the game, of course. There's nothing else to add to it. We won the fucking game. In this next clip, I start as a sniper. Of course, the funnest class in the game for me, but again, it's not the same as running an LMG, because, yeah, if enemy rushes you, you die instantly. So, of course, I probably died a couple times before this clip started, but yeah, I swap over to the rifleman, and the game's just going to go the same way as the last one. But I feel like there's a little more to talk about in this clip. Because it's a little different of a map. This one's cargo, a little better for sightlines and being a little shit camper, like that. Gee. Of course, we're losing in the beginning. This is actually a pretty decent map, actually. We're kind of tied. I start pulling off this crazy feats with the LMG, of course. We start just rolling up to their spawn already. The game has too short of tides to actually do anything. With an assault rifle, I also point on ramp. Smoke on this map is super prevalent, actually, I find. But with an LMG, you can just keep shooting and no one's going to stop you. Because, yeah, they don't know where you are because there's smoke. But with an LMG, you don't have to know where they are because you know the general location. You can just keep shooting and shooting and shooting until they die. It's kind of broken. With having basically the same stats as an AR, but just slightly worse, for a trade-off of having limitless ammo, I don't think it should be like that. I don't know. I'm not a coder. I'm not a game designer. Actually, I kind of am, but I don't really do anything with that skills. And it's just bleh. You don't really do much. You just shoot. It's kind of like Heavy from Team Fortress 2. You just keep shooting and shooting and shooting. There's nothing to worry about when you can just keep shooting. Of course you're going to die once and now, but your prevalence is just something they have to worry about with this type of gun. Like, what are they supposed to do in this split-time reaction they have between you shooting them in the face and you showing up? Just being able to walk in their spawn and be a one-man machine should not exist. This is not okay. Why? Yep, that's the video. That's mostly it. It's kind of shit if you think about it, but it was something interesting, I guess. It was mostly better than everything else I've made, though, because I made it with actual voice, and I didn't just put gameplay down. I actually edited this, I put volume in. I'm probably gonna add some volume changes, then you can hear me talking. I think I made it a little too loud, though, and that was the problem, and I don't think I can change it that well, but yeah. I think that's everything I gotta talk about. I think this is the best I can do for now. Again, I'm just using the packaged-in editing software that comes with PS5, the Share Factory Studio shit. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It does the job, but it's not something like working on OBS, which I don't know how to even work OBS at this point. I open this shit up to stream and that's it. It's a funny thing. I guess you can follow me in my stream, my Twitch account at Turner011 again, because, yeah. That's mostly everything, though. I stream sometimes, like, once in a million. Sometimes I stream TF2, sometimes I stream Risk of Rain. Sometimes Payday 2. Most of it has mods in it, though. Hella mods. It's just pure chaos. Ugh. I think that's everything. Thank you for watching the video, I guess, and I will see you never. Fuck you.